Good morning and welcome to Beyond the SEAF Model. I'm Jack Kosar. This is effective for Monday, December 23rd, 2024. Let's get started. SEAF signals for this week. We have consumer discretionary, technology, and communication services again. That's 3 weeks in a row. We actually have not had a situation like this year, so it's nice to see some consistency within the model. Specifically around consumer discretionary and technology, as we are seeing them in the upper ranking. So overall ranking of 4 for consumer discretionary and overall ranking for 6 for technology. And, after some of the rapid movement that we were seeing across the different sectors this year, it was really nice to see this kind of really start to slow down and solidify a little bit. Other kind of key things to note, things that we're watching, utilities starting to have that positive momentum that I like to see. We aren't seeing the asset flows follow that through to really make this a notable movement. As you can see here, it's still in that neutral zone, but trending in the right direction. Seeing financials really kind of fall off the cliff. We're kind of waiting for the strategic quarter to fall off. We can expect to see financials fall a little bit lower down the chart here. And last but not least on this particular table, watching healthcare a little bit. Again, not seeing the strength in flows. We'll highlight this a little bit more in the heat map in just a second. But we are seeing that positive momentum, but not seeing the strength of flows that we would want to see to start to tell you to have a lead off. And I lied. Last but not least, energy coming here at the bottom with pretty weak across the board. Heading into our heat map. So what I wanted to highlight here today was seeing some real strength in consumer discretionary and technology. The asset flows for them respectively were 0.41% increase and a 0.47% increase. As if you've been listening to me all year, wanting to look for a weekly flow above 0.4%. And it really starts to show strength and conviction for that particular move. So seeing some real strength here in the consumer discretionary and technology space, really across the board, as that green is coalescing there at the top. A little bit of a break for communication services, but still strong. Having that strong momentum coming from the strategic quarter and the tactical month, taking a little bit of a break in the trading week. Nothing necessarily to do there. It is still a SEAF signal, and it has that positive momentum. And as we've mentioned in the past, on a week-to-week basis, you can see these flows kind of come in and out, take a little bit of break and resume trend. So we would need multiple weeks of communication services pulling back on the trading week to really start to see a momentum shift there. That or a strength coming from, a utilities, consumer staples, or something of that nature that can come in and usurp communication services. But as of right now, seeing some nice positive momentum in the tactical month and strategic quarter. And then just a note here, and we'll highlight this a little bit in the rainbow chart, but looking at healthcare, healthcare is coming in at 3. Now, 3 was a 0.07%. So there was a relatively steep fall off in terms of the asset flows coming from after consumer discretionary. But we are seeing a little bit of the positive momentum. We've had head fakes before. That's why I'm going to highlight this on the rainbow chart. And then the last little bit of tidbit on the flows at for this week is we are on our 3rd consecutive week of a net outflow, meaning if we take all 11 sector spiders and we calculate the flows through our engine for that particular week, we have 3 consecutive weeks with a net outflow, which means money is net pulling out of the market. The biggest day was on Wednesday of last week at a negative 2.8% outflow. That was the big down day in the S&P 500 or the market last week. And overall, like I said, showing some net outflows. We did see a little bit of an attempt at a buy the dip situation on Friday with a 1% inflow increase, but due to the massive net outflows in general, it didn't actually change the week. We were still a net outflow on the particular week. We're going to head now into our rainbow charts. Looking at first off is communication services. As I said, I have a little bit of a fall off, but we've had this nice run up on the relative outperformance versus SPY and a little bit of a blip. This easily could get turned around with a nice positive favored day, or on the reverse side with more outflows from communication services, we could head into neutral. So it's going to be real key to kind of take a look at communication services next week and see where we land. Are we going to resume trend and continue this nice relative outperformance trend that we have going on, or is this the end of the line for communication services? Because we don't do any forecasting, we follow the money, we follow the data. We're going to have a strong look at this next week and let you guys know what this is looking like. Heading into technology, continues its run up. It's nice to see it continue. It tested into neutral and then kind of rebounded again on favored. We saw a real strong number on the trading week for technology. It is an upper favor sector. I'm still kind of waiting for the relative outperformance to take off. As you can see here, we have a slight positive trend coming in from the middle part of November. But overall, we really need to break this upward resistance that we kind of established in late September, early October. We're going to obviously keep an eye on this, but look at technology. Ideally, we continue these flows. We really should start to see that outperformance in the bottom half of this chart. Energy. Like I said, I like to always show the flip side of this thing. This model is very good at identifying the top sectors. I believe the last 6 years, the SEAF model has identified the top outperformance sector in that given year, and this year looks to be that same way as well. But what SEAF also does is lets you know where not to be, and energy continues to be in a void. We are in a broad underperformance trend versus SPY. As well as a shortened one as well. So energy continues to be in a void. I've seen some publications coming out, about energy and healthcare and potentially wanting to, buy this long relative underperformance trend. We don't see anything here yet, so we're going to hold off. Our next rainbow chart, consumer discretionary. Consumer discretionary continues its really nice relative outperformance run. A little bit of a check mark here on that down day last week, but we held. And as I said, we had really strong inflows for consumer discretionary. Consumer discretionary is highly favored, is actually our top favored sector. And we've had this really nice relative outperformance run, really going back to the end of September, early October, just a nice positive run here for the relative outperformance in consumer discretionary. Last but not least, healthcare. As I said, we watched healthcare ranked in third. Now, there wasn't super strong flows on that trading week for the third ranking. Overall, healthcare is the third worst sector in the SEAF model, so there is nothing to do here yet. But I do like to highlight when we do see a trading week come up and score relatively high, in this case 3. What we have going on here. So we're going to peak into neutral. If these flows continue, we could see a little bit of an upward turn in relative outperformance. But look at this really large downward underperformance trend that we've kind of developed since late August. So nothing to do on healthcare yet, nothing to bite on. We're going to continue to watch the flows. But if healthcare can string a couple of these positive trading weeks together, that starts building the momentum into the trading month. We could really start to see something positive, especially after a really long trend of underperformance. Nothing to do here yet, but we're going to watch this space. That is all I have for this week. I look forward to breaking down the SEAF model with you all next week, and I hope everybody has a wonderful holidays. Thank you.